My next speaker is here for us. It's going to be MC. Our coach, MC, is here. She is going to talk about what is she going to talk about? What rhythm can do? What rhythm can do that? Remind us, never reminders.
Never could. Yes.
I was getting lost a little bit. Tell us, what is it? What are you going to talk about? What are you going to share with us?
It's all about rhythm. And I'm just going to show people how they have it already. They just need to dig it out.
Awesome. Let me show you her blissful life a little bit here. So she is here to show us, or she stands for building family life on something. We will find out. She believes consistency is the, not going to tell me, right? You're going to keep it and share with the audience. Okay.
Yeah.
She is committed to showing families that something, we'll find out. And look at what she's doing. I told you she's living a blissful life. I haven't got to that point yet, but one day. She is here to show us that consistent patterns regulate more deeply than something. I don't know how consistent you do this, MC. You're in the sky. You need to tell us about that. But welcome. Thank you for being here. It's all yours.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity for me to share to everyone. And thank you to everyone who's joining us live and also those that are going to be watching the replay later on. Thank you. So, I'm not going to start with any strategies right now. I'm just going to start with rhythm because that's where the healing begins. And I'm going to invite you to join me, and we're going to find ours together. We're going to find our rhythm together. To lead the slide number 1. There we go. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to put your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your belly. Put your feet flat on the floor. And I want you to feel and just be in connection with the rhythm of your heart. And so that when we're going to be breathing, you can just focus on trying to calm down that rhythm so that it's going to be steady, so that your rhythm is open to what we're going to be talking next and showing what I'm going to be showing you next. We're going to breathe in 4 counts and we're going to hold for 2 and we're going to breathe out for 6. So if you're ready, we're going to start now. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on for 2. And breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to do it again. So breathe in for 4, hold for 2, and breathe out for 6. And one more, just to make sure we're grounded. Breathe in for 4, and hold for 2, and breathe out for 6. Thank you. All right. So before I tell you about my daughter and our little story, I want to ask you this question. And I want you to think if you've ever watched either your child or a student become so capable that they forgot how to settle and how to rest. So just think about that for a minute. You can jot it down on a piece of paper. You can share it in the chat if you want. So when have you ever watched a child, your child or a student, become so capable that they forgot how to settle and rest? So what I want to do is I want to share my story, and it's about my daughter Kaylin. So my daughter Kaylin, she was the kind of child that all my friends, other parents, everybody was like, oh wow, like they were just marveled at her and how independent she was, how initiative she was and organized and just consistent. And just asking, what did you do? I didn't do much, but that was her. So she was one of those that everybody was just like in awe. And so by the time she was like 4 years old, she basically figured out she could leave me sleeping in thank goodness, and get up and just grab a yogurt and something to eat and go downstairs in the TV room and just put on our favorite show with the PVR and just be our own little self and just content. And then she would even ask if she could go to bed. Usually it's a fight, but not with her. She was always asking, "Can I go to bed now?" And she would just put herself to bed. And even now she's 20 and she still follows the same routine and rhythm. She needs to be in bed early. What people didn't realize or what they didn't notice is like the whole storm that was going underneath all that. So her nervous system, it was constantly scanning for danger. It was just like absorbing everything like a sponge. So the emotional chaos around her, it would be like she would take it in. And she would carry everybody's stress like it was her own stress, unfortunately. But people didn't really see that. And then 7 years ago, her father and I, we separated, and then her rhythm just started to shatter. And mine did too, in one way. Because it brought a lot of uncertainty into the open, like where would we live and how would this all work? And even though her dad and I managed to separate without drama, there was not a big fight going on. Just the not knowing was eating us both alive, unfortunately. And so for Kaylin, school became a big mountain, and she had to struggle to climb it on a daily basis. And so homework was a battle. It was always, I don't get it, I don't understand, and just let the stress and anxiety would show up. And then for me as a parent, I just felt like I was failing her again. And I had a really big guilt feeling in my gut. And you probably have experienced that or have seen this as well, like watching your capable child or watching a capable student just struggle with invisible battles. And in the meantime, as a parent, you're trying to fight your own battles because you know what? Kids, they just feel everything, don't they? Yeah. One day, by accident, everything shifted because I decided to take a teaching job at her school. And I thought I was escaping my own toxic work situation and not being happy with where I was teaching and stuff like that. But what I didn't realize is that I was going to stumble on something that would just change everything. Because what happened is that she didn't really need to take the school bus. We could just drive to school together. So that 20-minute between our home and school just changed everything. So it became this little magical moment that was just there between my driveway and the school parking lot. And so what happened is that most morning we didn't really talk much, and sometimes she would decide to play her own favorite tunes on the car radio, streaming that. And sometimes we just sat in a very comfortable silence and just trying to wrap our head around what the day was going to be like ahead of us. But we did that every single day. And we weren't trying to fix anything. We had no agenda, but still her nervous system started to trust again. And there was no intervention. And we were just like present consistently. And her nervous system started to trust again. And we weren't trying to fix anything at all, but her nervous system started to trust again. So just being in presence, one and another, and doing that consistently, that was what brought her to trust her system again. So now that I'm looking back, I think that for a moment there, we were just like, we were able to exhale, like we were able to breathe properly. And that didn't happen for quite a few months before that. So those drives, they became our little sacred time, but they became our rhythm. and they became our anchor for both of us. So she wasn't suddenly better at math and better at science, and she didn't become more confident with her friends, but she was less anxious and she was less reactive and she was more herself. The anxiety was not gone, but it was not running the show in the background anymore, which was huge. It was big. So now, how would basically how did that change is I didn't give her better tools for anxiety and stress management. I just gave her something that was better than a tool. I gave her this predictable nervous system rhythm that said, you're safe right now, and you do not have to perform anymore. So, what I didn't realize at the time is that those 20-minute rides every day, each way, they became the medicine that we needed, both her and I. Not because of what we did, but because of what we stopped trying to do. So, when the day moves in the right rhythm, well, children and parents, we all experience safety that is anchored in an emotional soil that is soft enough, but a steady enough soil to create stability. And when we experience safety, the mind becomes ready to expand into new learning and into new experiences. So, rhythm creates the safety when things are predictable, when there is a connection, and when there's a small moments of joy that the families can count on. So we didn't need a new plan or more reminders. So these quiet moments of presence, they created the safety and the co-regulation that her anxious nervous system absolutely needed. So we needed the same breath at the same time every single day. So here's what I learned through all this is that healing, it's not linear, it's rhythmic. And safety, it's not taught, it's felt. And your nervous system will trust repetition, it will not trust reminders. So you don't need car rides like her and I did, but you need to find and you just need that moment of rhythm. So now I want you to take like a nice deep breath and just take a moment to think. So, what is one moment in your day that repeats itself without any effort needed? And I want you to think, could that moment become a ritual, a rhythm for your family? So just sit on that one for a moment because sometimes we tend to do things on such like an automatic pilot run that we forget. We forget that we have those little rituals and those rhythms and we don't pay attention to them. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of actions, but also like phrases that would be very simple for you to just like implement or tweak and make it work for your family. So it could be something like a Tuesday night walk. So every Tuesday, you walk around the same neighborhood, you do the same loop, there's no agenda, and you do it rain or shine. And that can become your anchor during times that are not certain. It could also be something like a kitchen cleanup dancing moment. Every day for 10, 15 minutes, you put some music, everybody does silly dance moves, everybody's laughing. But this can also become a predictable moment of joy because it will anchor everything and make everything feel more manageable. And some of you probably already have some little traditions, even something as simple as like a Sunday morning pancake ritual. So the smell, the sizzle, the rhythm, week after week. And it just can be something that is simple, but that becomes an emotional North Star for your chaotic time and your week that you just had and your week that's coming ahead. So these are little gestures and action rituals that you are of rhythm that you can implement, but there's also grounding phrases that you can implement. So you can create a moment of connection by agreeing on a phrase that will build some trust and understanding in relationships in the family. Something like if you say, back to us, here we are together. Those phrases can be used during the day at any moment and create some connection. It could be something that will bring presence for the family. And it could be something that will get like feet on the ground and hearts together. Or something, a phrase like our rhythm, our pace. And those can create a safe and supportive environment for everybody in the family. It could be moments of awareness, like a phrase for awareness that could enhance emotional regulation and resiliency. Something that, how are you carrying your day today? Or time to come home to ourselves. So it brings awareness in where you are and who you're with. It could be phrases that can bring some growth. So things like shoulders down, hearts to open, or time to soften. And this can bring healing through shared experience amongst the family. So those little micro rituals, they can regulate way much more than what a chart can do, or strategies or techniques. And I'm sure some of you have probably implemented or tried and implement those in your family rituals. Because what happens is that if you have those little moments of rhythm, they will make the body feel safe, and they will also be bring some, your mind can breathe again. And when you have something like that, is what's going to bring everything together. Because maybe you're like me, like what I was, and you're trying so hard that you're exhausting yourself, and you're wondering if you're doing the right thing, if you're doing enough, if you're saying the right things as well, and you're trying to just handle the struggles the right way. And it's exhausting. So, what I want you to remember is that your presence is way more powerful than any parenting technique. Just being there. And I think we've touched base on that in the last couple presentations. Your consistency, it matters way more than your words. And your rhythm, your calm attention, that's the medicine that is needed for your child's anxious heart. And sometimes the most healing thing you can offer is just to show up again and again in the small moments that make up your days. Because children, they don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to be present, to show up consistently and lovingly. And that's enough, and you're enough. And sometimes we need that little reminder. So before I move on and we go and wrap up this session here, I want you to ask yourself these four important questions. So I want you to ask yourself, and you can jot some things down, or if you feel comfortable, you can put it in the chat and you can come back to them later in the replay if you need to. But what is one rhythm that you already have as a family, but you have not named it or you have not honored it? Because it's probably already there and you didn't realize it. And where has urgency replaced the connection in your home? Because everything is so fast paced. We are always on the go. And we lose connection when we are in such like a fast speed, urgency, rhythm of life. My next question is, how does your nervous system need rhythm as well? Because even as adults, we need our own rhythm. So, do you need to set yourself some weekly time of a yoga session or getting together with friends and re-anchor yourself? So, is your system also needing some rhythm? And my last question is, what would change in your healing as a family if it would just start with a rhythm? Because I'm sure you can come up with a few thoughts on that. So you don't need to keep up with like all the parenting advices and systems. And we get so bombarded right now with everything that's on social media. I want you to remember you just need to keep close. You need to keep in rhythm. You need to breathe and you need to keep to what is real in the moment between you and your child. So the answer has been within you all along. You are enough. And when the consistency comes from care, not control, then healing can happen really quickly. But it can happen completely. And that's the key here. So maybe your family is not really looking for another plan or strategy. Maybe what you're waiting for is just simply rhythm, a rhythm that is steady, a rhythm that is quiet, one that is familiar, but finally a rhythm that is safe. Because rhythm does regulate way more than what reminders can do. So, rhythm is the medicine. It's probably the medicine that like your family rhythm just needs. So maybe your home is like super noisy and chaotic and imperfect, but your home could also be rhythmic. And that's because rhythm does not erase what is hard. There's always going to be hard moments and hard stuff happening, but rhythm can make it survivable and it can make it beautiful. So I want to end on this note. So it's not a fix, it's a return to your roots, one rhythm at a time, because rhythm is the return home. Thank you.
That was amazing, MC. Thank you. Thank you. You were
You're
supposed to
welcome.
talk about what you were giving. I thought there was a beautiful gift on there on your slide. Can I see? Is there one? Are you giving something to our
So
audience?
yes, so I would like to offer a coaching experience because I really believe that every child can reach their full potential if they have their own blueprint, success blueprint. I'm offering a free 5-day full system scan and clarity kickstart coaching experience to the first 3 people to reach out to me. And so you can scan the QR code that is on the screen right now, and it will lead you to all the different ways of connecting with me. And then we can look at how we can understand your child's system patterns, their natural rhythm of learning, uncover the root cause of their challenges, and then end up with co-creating a customized plan that will I'll honor them as a child and who they are, but also how their brain works. And I'm like, it can work with family members, adults as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. There's a lot of love in the chat. Make sure to
Uh,
go and see all the love you're getting. We're running a little late, so I'm going to save the questions. And I've had a great idea as I'm standing here. We should have a summit recap event on like Tuesday or something. Like we should come together to
ah,
some of those things that you're talking about. I think we should do that. I think so. Would be
yes.
yeah.
Going back in rhythm after.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. We'll
You're
see you
welcome.
on
Thank
Tuesday to
you.
dig a little deeper and have some curiosity around some things you said. Thank you so much.
Yes.